This is The Scoop for Tuesday.
I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines. A man convicted in the 1998 rape and killing of his neighbor is set to be the 15th person executed in Florida this year. Norman Merle Grimm Jr. is scheduled to receive a lethal injection starting at 6 this evening at Florida State Prison. WMNF's Leah Burdick reports, leading up to the execution, Floridians for Alternatives to the Death Penalty will hold a vigil in Pinellas County.
On the corners of Ulmerton Road and 49th Street North, FADP will be holding signs opposing the death penalty. John Stewart is a member of FADP, and he says for every execution, they hold a vigil.
We do that because, first of all, the death penalty does nothing to reduce the murder rate. Never has, never will. Secondly, it's far more expensive than life in prison, and people don't know that. They assume it's cheaper.
Stewart says Grimm's execution is even more important.
Even if you support the death penalty, it should be carried out with all legal procedures and cautions in place.
He says people tend to overlook the death penalty, and he wants to remind residents this is still an issue. The vigil for Norman Grimm will be from 5 to 6 in the evening. Leah Burdick, WMNF News.
6 top members of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office have resigned or have been terminated after an investigation showed academic cheating. WMNF's Chris Young reports Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister spoke to the media yesterday about the scandal.
Chronister confirmed that members of HCSO's command staff were involved in the academic cheating scandal.
There's no one in this office, including me, that's irreplaceable. The 187 years of history here at the Sheriff's Office has proven that.
The investigations began after former Chief Deputy Anthony Collins' wife sent screenshots of Collins' communications with Robert Rausch, the man accused of completing the assignments of Collins and others at the FBI National Academy. Collins resigned. Further investigations led to the resignations of Colonels Chris Rule and Michael Hannaford and Captain Laura Rivera. Captain Zuli Stearns and Marvin Johnson were terminated. But Chronister says he is not pursuing criminal charges, saying that the credentials gained were just a, quote, small part in determining a promotion. Chris Young, WMNF News.
A Broward County Circuit judge has ruled that a Florida law barring people under the age of 21 from carrying concealed weapons violates Second Amendment rights. The judge sided with a 19-year-old who was spotted with a gun in his waistband. The judge said Florida's prohibition on the concealed carry of firearms by 18 to 20-year-olds strips a class of legal adults of their ability to exercise the very rights the Constitution guarantees. He cited U.S. Supreme Court rulings in recent years that required analyzing the historical tradition of firearm regulation when determining whether laws violate the Second Amendment. The ruling focuses on an age limitation for carrying concealed weapons that's separate from a more highly publicized state law that prevents people from under the age of 21 from buying rifles and other long guns. A federal judge has cleared the way for transgender Florida prison inmates to pursue a class action lawsuit alleging they were improperly denied accommodations as part of treating gender dysphoria. A chief U.S. district judge certified a class action in the accommodations issue. It stems from state corrections officials denying transgender inmates access to certain clothing and grooming, like makeup, but the judge rejected certifying a class action on other allegations about inmates potentially being denied hormone therapy. The lawsuit was filed last year after Florida revamped policies about transgender inmates. At least 180 inmates had been diagnosed with gender dysphoria in September of 2024 when the policy changes were issued. Hurricane Melissa is set to pummel Jamaica today as a catastrophic Category 5 storm. It's the strongest to lash the island since record-keeping began 174 years ago. As of 5 this morning, winds were 175 miles an hour with gusts of 185. Forecasters said the storm is expected to make landfall early today and slice diagonally across the island. Hours before the storm, the government said it had done all it could to prepare as it warned of catastrophic damage. Jamaica's prime minister said there is no infrastructure in the region that can withstand a Category 5. The question now is the speed of recovery. That's the challenge. It'll be mostly sunny today with highs in the low 80s. Tonight, mostly clear. Overnight lows in the low 60s. Mostly sunny tomorrow, highs in the low 80s. I'm Sean Canan with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.